Ready? Hey guys, it's Anisha Collins here with another episode for AC's Corner, and this week I am interviewing my dad. Hey guys, so it's Anisha Collins again, and I'm so excited about this episode because I'm here to talk to you guys about someone that I think has strongly influenced my work ethic. So he doesn't even know what I'm going to ask him. This is totally like on the fly for him. And so this is my dad, and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Dad, and nice to meet you.
Okay, so, you know, you don't have to be so, you know.
You're editing this, right?
Yes. Okay. My dad has been, do you want to tell them like how long you've been working? If you don't want to tell them exactly what you do, that's fine, but how long you've been working and like why it was important for you to provide like for your family.
Well, currently I'm an employee at the U.S. Postal Service. I've been a mailman for 33 years. The opportunity came about when I was working in Wall Street, and I took the test, never paid attention to it, and then he called me. And then I spoke to a friend who took the test, passed, and I hired him, and he told me about the benefits. And Nisha was my second child on the way, and the benefits were enormous compared to what I was working currently, in the past. So I went for the opportunity to take advantage of the benefits, and after that, the job paid well, benefits were great, and job security was outstanding. So I stuck with it, talked it over with my wife, and here I am now. So,
I have a few questions. I'm a little nervous, but excited because I really wanted to do this. I've been planning this for a couple weeks actually. Just schedules didn't line up, and so I'm really, really excited. So, first question is, what motivates you to like get up in the morning, go to work? I mean, you've been doing it now for so long. I'm sure now you're older, you probably like, some mornings are probably like, but maybe they're not. But what motivates you to like really show up every day?
Well, to most people this might sound pathetic, but I like to work. I have no problems with work. What I don't like is to beg, so I have to work to get what I want. I had a responsibility. I was a dad. I had 3 mouths to feed, a son, a daughter, and a wife, and I'm not going to ask anybody for that. I'm going to do it. So work to me is pleasure. And when I can provide for my family, that's the rewards right there. So even to this day, I could work to eternity, but physically I just can't do it, you know, so I'm gonna retire soon. But if I didn't have to retire, I would continue on.
So the next question that I have is, what stimulates you? I know you said like providing for your family, but there still has to be, I mean, especially your job, the elements you deal with, you're outside, rain, sleet, hail, snow, and you went from New York to Florida, which is like, at least New York has seasons, so you don't get stuck in one season, no weather, whatever, but in Florida it's hotter. So did you feel like a change when you went from New York to Florida? Like, was it hard for you to adjust? Did you feel like, I don't want to do this?
Well, because of the opportunities that Mom had, that was a major reason why we transferred. But I did have I was very hesitant because I had a route for 21 years. It's hard to leave. But the opportunity knocked for Mom, so as a team, we went together. Now, coming down here, a friend of mine said, if you can make it through the summer, you can make it all year round. And that's when we came down here. We came down here in May, and believe me, that first summer was brutal. Mom can even tell you that there were times when she really thought the transfer was a mistake. But I told her no, you know, let's persevere, and we did. And now I tell all my friends, even tourists, don't come to Florida during the summer. Come after, like October through May. Right, that's when you come. During the summer, leave it for the scavengers, like the turkey vultures out there. Let them burn in the summer. But the transfer was worthwhile. You see, my daughter's down here and she's doing great. Not knowing how she would do in New York, but she's doing great down here. With her profession, the weather is a factor. And with my job, the weather is a factor. So Florida has basically 2 seasons, which is summer and spring.
I don't think it has 2 seasons. I think it has hot and hotter. But transitioning into what you were saying, like about my career and and what I do. I mean, most people know, if you read my background, I came from a nursing background and then discovered, you know, a liking for visual arts, and you know, my business has been thriving for a few years now. So this is where we get into like a little bit more nitty gritty. So as a parent, even though I'm, you know, above a certain age and I don't live with you and stuff like that, I know parents are still concerned about their children. So what would you say was like one concern when I transitioned from being a nurse, which seems like a more secure job, to being a creative and owning my own business? Like, what, as a parent, how did you feel about that?
Well, all parents want their children to take the right path. You never know until they take that path. But nursing, to me, because I'm an older generation,
You be honest,
seemed like a more, you know, a substantial career, a stable career. I mean, when Nisha told me she's going to be a photographer, she had a camera in her hand. She came out of the room and said, "Dad, I had enough. I'm going to be a photographer." As a father, I'm not going to say no to her, but I think I remember I said, "Nisha, good luck." And when I walked away, yes, my heart was heavy, but I'm not going to stymie my daughter and tell her no, yes, no, yes. She's a grown woman. She has to make her decisions like her dad and mom. And whatever road she takes, you know, mom and dad will support her. If she falls down, we'll help pick her up. If she walks on her 2 feet, we'll clap her hands and say congratulations. So the career move that Nisha made was something that I know I wouldn't do. I don't have the courage. But she does. And look at her now. And if I would have said no, I wouldn't be here doing this interview.
That's true. That's true. I like that, the courage, because it does take courage to do something that is not normal, something that seems less secure. So I like that. Okay, we're good.
Are you gonna do mom one day?
Yeah, but I gotta, her interview's gonna be different.
Yeah, I know. Flowers and smelling incense.
No, it'll be right here, but it'll be different. Okay, so we talked about courage, and you know, there was a little reluctance, is probably the word, on your end as a parent, even though I'm of age, growing on my own. What would you say is like, at what point did you start to see like, wow, my daughter is a business owner, she's successful, she's getting, you know, awards and being booked?
I can tell you right now, you cut that question down, I don't mean to interrupt. When I started saying, "Hey Nisha," you know, and then you said, "Dad, I know what I'm doing, thank you." That was the end of that.
Okay. So my confidence and affirmation gave you relief.
Which is a part of me to you.
Okay.
Because I'm that way too. When I know
That's
what
true.
I'm doing, I thank you for the advice, but hold the advice.
See where I get my straightforwardness from? Okay, so how do you see my business now? I mean, you've seen it from the infancy when I was, you know, I mean, look guys, you know I'm transparent. I was working from your home in my bedroom in a corner, late nights. Some nights I wouldn't sleep, some nights I wouldn't eat. They would go to sleep and then knock on my door, open the door, and I was up, you know, editing or doing something to build my business. When you look at it from then till now, what are 3 things that like stand out to you as far as, you know, seeing that whole journey?
Well, I know you're gonna laugh when I compare you to somebody.
Okay.
Your career was like Bruce Lee. When he first came into the scene, people were like, "Wow, man, who is this guy?" When you came onto the scene, people were like, "Wow, look at this young lady. She has talent, and look at what she produces." You kind of set the standard to where people say, "Hey, you know, I like her style. I'm gonna go that way." So your career skyrocketed, it really did. And when you showed me those awards, and I'm scratching my head, I'm like, "Huh? You know, how do they know her?" And of course, your product. And then when your product was published in the magazines, oh yeah, I went to work and I was showing people, I was taking people's magazines that I was delivering, showing them pictures of my daughter, and like, "Yeah, okay, Tom, yeah. And it says Nisha Collins, and they're like, "Yeah, wow, yeah." So yeah, your career really is like the space shuttle.
Do you, like, looking at me now, how do you think my career has affected my personal life?
Well,
Does that bother you as a father? Like,
not at all, because I think you handle your career and your personal life perfectly, because like this line here, and like I tell Mom, your career is here, your personal life is here. You can't mix the two. You mix the two, it becomes chaotic. You look at movie stars, look at famous people. There's a time for pleasure and there's a time for work. So that's how you handle it. When you're working, I call you, you say, "Dad, I'll call you back later. I'm working." Just like when you call me, what do I tell you? "Nisha, I'll call you back, I'm a little busy." And then when that time comes, then that time is where it's available, where whatever you want to do or want to say, just like me. So I understand where you're coming from with that, and I think that's what every professional should be.
So an interesting fact, and I won't give exact numbers just because it's a little more personal on his end, but I know that my dad has a lot of PTO, paid time off, a lot. Like, I would say anywhere between 2 and 5 years. Let's just play it safe there. How the heck do you even have that much time off? I mean, I know it has a lot to do with you work. I mean, I've seen you go, you have a cold right now. You were just at work yesterday. I've seen you go to work. Even when we've had family emergencies, he makes sure his family is okay and he goes right back to work. Why don't you take time? I mean, I need to reword this, because as you've gotten older, you have taken more vacations, sparingly, but how do you not work? Like, as far as, why do you have so much paid time off?
Well, the reason why I have paid time off is because that's insurance. 12 years ago, I had an accident playing basketball after work.
I remember.
And I remember that. And I took the whole summer off. Now, my bosses wanted me to come to work and work part-time, and I said, no, I have enough time to where I could take the whole summer off. And they said, yeah, okay, because they had no choice. So I took the whole summer off. That's what that time was for. I healed. I came back 100%. So that's insurance. And like I said in the beginning of the interview, I see work differently. I see work as kind of a pleasure thing. So
it's not work to you then.
Right. So why should I call in sick when I'm not sick?
Right.
Save it when I am sick, or when injuries or emergencies happen. Like, mommy gets sick, you get sick, David gets sick. You might need me, And if I don't have that time, yes, I'm going to argue with my boss, and things are going to get ugly. So when I do have the time,
you take it.
like I did when I had my knee scarred, I took the time, and there's nothing my bosses could say. But it's insurance, and everybody needs some form of insurance. That was priceless insurance, and it came handy.
But I can't see, so I just want to stop and not make sure we don't miss anything good. Okay, so my next question is, and this is more because you've been in the work field for 30 something years, and you may not own your own business or be a creative, but you've been around personalities, right? I'm sure you met a plethora of people.
Oh yeah.
So what advice would you give, because most of my audience is creative, so photographers, cinematographers. I do have brides, but they may or may not watch. This is more for the creative side. What advice would you give for people who deal with, I'm trying to find the right verbiage.
Celebrities?
No. Celebrities don't mean, not being rude, but I don't get starstruck. But advice for dealing with people who talk bad about you when it's not true, or attack you because you're good. Those are things that are common for creatives, and I feel like it could be common in the workforce, because I've had conversations even with mommy where she's in the nursing field, and she'll work 110% and somebody works 50%, and they get attention, accolades, and she's like, but I'm busting my behind over here and you don't even give me a pat on the back. So what advice would you give to a creative that deals with being attacked for who they are, or just anything negative as far as interactions are with people?
Well, like I told you when you were growing up, and I said to Nisha and David, I said, listen, people are entitled to opinions. They're gonna praise you and they're gonna criticize you. Now, everybody likes being appraised. Being criticized is a little tough, it really is. You kind of have to adjust to it. In the beginning, it's hard. It's like a slap in the face. It depends who slaps you.
That's true.
You either slap them back, or depending who the person is. You have to take it, I think, at the moment or at the time that it happens, and wherever it happens. With my job, I compare my job to a policeman. It's just that I'm not carrying a gun. Believe me, I've heard stories, I've been criticized, I've been hit with a bottle, I've been knifed, when I mean knifed, I haven't been stabbed. I had people pull out knives, I had people had dogs attack me, but yet again, I had people praise me, I had people thank me, I had people said, hey, you're the best. So you kind of balance that out. But when it comes to the negative part, after all these years, like I tell people, after a while, even bugs are affected by bug spray. after all these years. But you just have to grow with it. You just have to learn how to let it bounce off. You have to learn how to not let it get into your system. You have to learn that, okay, if they're right, you know, then fix it, right? But they're not your creator. I'm your creator. I can talk about you, but if they're not your creator, then I wouldn't worry about it. And you should let those things go and move on what you do. And don't forget that there's jealousy amongst the people. And they're not going to tell you, but when they see you fall down, you're keeping them company. Yes.
Yeah, misery loves company. And I know sometimes you can come behind someone and you just excel faster, you know, or quicker. And when I realized that, like just even looking at other people, it's someone who comes behind you doing what you do, they are going to excel faster because you've given them the resources to skip the steps that you had to do. Like there's steps that I had to do that some of you guys who are now part of like my education group or my YouTube channel, you're not going to have to do because I'm telling you how to just go zoop, you know? So you mentioned him earlier on, but I know that Bruce Lee is like your favorite. I wouldn't say your idol, but you admire him. I'm sure he's inspired you in different ways, and you know, I have my own people that I like as well. What is it about Bruce Lee that like you just
Well, he was different. Here's a guy who's 5'7", 140 pounds. He broke the barriers. He said, look, you're not bad, but this is better. But if that's the way you want, if that's what you want to do, fine. He never insulted anybody. He never embarrassed anybody unless they deserved it. And what he said was, if I could do it and I'm a little guy, then you could do that too. And one thing I liked about Bruce Lee in his movies was that he separated the two. He was a sociable guy, but when the time came for him to fight, he fought, and then it was over. That's it. He walked away. And I liked that personality. Now, I mean, I'm not out there to fight people and stuff like that. Or I wouldn't be. You and David probably wouldn't be here if I did. But I admire that, and I kind of used his personalities and traits for my job. I said to myself, look, you know, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do it this way and that way and this until it gets done. And then when I'm finished, I walk away, and then I'll do it the next day, the next day. And what I liked about Bruce Lee, he was different. He didn't copy from anybody, but he was very talented. I didn't have the talent like he has, but I had talents elsewhere other than what he has. So I kind of incorporated that into my work ethics. Now, a few things in my personality I incorporated that he has. I won't talk about it because I'll probably get arrested, but
okay.
No, I won't. But you know, I do admire the guy to this day still.
So I know also, and people laugh. They don't laugh like in a negative way, but like I like rock music. I like country. I like my playlist is. I can go from classical to like I said, to rock to country, and I know that the group Queen is one of your favorites. Now, I don't know if you like the group as a whole or just, I always mess up his name, Freddie Mercury. Is it him that you like? Is it the group as a whole? Like, what makes them stand out as your like favorite?
Well, Queen was like Bruce Lee. Queen were 4 Brits who opened up the envelope. They played country, rock, they played jazz, they played R&B. It might not sound like that to its pure form, but they incorporated in their music. And if you listen to some of their hits, you can listen to especially the notes and the twirl and the guitar and the way Freddie Mercury plays and the way John Deacon plays the bass. If you had your eyes closed, you would. When I remember when Another One Bites the Dust came out, everybody thought that was an African American group, and I kept on telling them, no, that's Queen. Well, who's Queen? Come here, let me show you. Listen to these guys, man. And it wasn't until when Another One Bites the Dust, that's when the R&B started picking up Queen. I had Queen since they first started. I knew there was something about that group. So that's why I like Queen, because they took, just like, let me use an example, Peter Hernandez, AKA, what's that guy's name? The singer who sings that, in the groove, 24 Cat.
Oh, Bruno Mars?
Bruno Mars.
Wow, Peter Hernandez. Oh, well, yeah.
Peter Hernandez is really Bruno Mars is really Peter Hernandez. And the reason why he changed his name to Bruno Mars is because he said if he used Peter Hernandez, he would be classified in Hispanic music. And he said, no, Bruno Mars, you can put me anywhere you want in the music industry. But as Peter Hernandez, he knew they were going to put him in the corner and to a market where he knew he was more outstanding, where he can reach out to more people of many cultures by changing his name. It's sad, but it's true. So that's what I liked about Queen, because they opened up the envelope.
You talked about standing out, Bruno Mars, Bruce Lee, Queen. Like, if you really listen to what you said, they all stood out because they were different, especially Bruno Mars. I mean, I can relate more to him because he's more in my time. The others, I kind of just watch what you watch. So let's talk about some fun, interesting facts. So when did you really discover that I liked football and it wasn't just
Easy.
thing?
When you were very young, you started seeing me wearing Dallas Cowboy caps, Dallas Cowboy jacket, and you had no idea what it was until you got a little older, and then you started noticing that on Sundays I was glued to the couch. But mommy wanted me to go shopping, go to grandma's house, and I said no. And you were like, why? Then when you saw why, I think you liked the sport. I think you liked the noise, the contact of all of a sudden people each other and making noise. But you grew to understand the game. That's what makes it worthwhile. Once you understand the game, like chess, football's like chess. Once you understand the moves and the strategy, and then it's a unique sport.
So what do you think you taught me? It's like a weird, like a salad question, whatever. It's like mixed. What do you think you taught me that you see as far as like how I operate as a female and then as a female business owner? Like, do you see anything that you taught me just being a parent?
Well, let's start with the female part. Not too many females are in this business by themselves. So some of them have partners. You are not. And I'm not sure if you're looking for one or if you want one, but you took a step out there and said, okay, what is out there? I don't know, well, let's see.
Right.
As the second part of the question, which was?
Like, and now looking at it, well, you kind of answered both just now.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, hold on. I just lost the last question.
That part's gonna get edited.
Yeah. Dang it. I was doing good too. Hold on. I don't remember the last question. So let's throw. I'm gonna throw a trivia in there because I get a lot of questions from people all the time, and one of them is like, how do you get over the hump of being a newbie? From the outside looking in, what did you see me do in my infant stages that really like projected me, that put me out there, even if people laughed or I wasn't sure what I was doing? You
did a lot of research. Like when you were stepping into the unknown, you said, okay, listen, I'm gonna study this, I'm gonna experience this, and then I'm gonna see if I like it. And if I am good at it, then I'm gonna go to the next step, and then the next step, and the next step. Like for example, when you did your first wedding, I'm pretty sure you were probably nervous and sweaty, but look at you now. Now you're like, let's go, let's finish it, come on, because you know the steps, you know the procedure. But when you first got into there, it was like walking into a tornado or hurricane. A lot of things around you, and so you didn't know whether you stand still or high or whatever, but now you do. You're natural. So you took that step into the unknown, and once you find out you step into the unknown, it's not as hard as you think it is. That's experience. That's what you call experience. That's what you call learning experience.
What do you see, like when you see my work? I mean, you've seen it from, hey, Anisha, that's nice, to now. What do you see? Like, what emotions evoke from it?
When you take pictures, you get the joy out of people. I don't know if you curse at them. I don't know if you give them jokes.
Don't curse.
I don't know if
jokes maybe. Yeah.
I don't know if you tickle them.
No.
But when you take their picture, they're always smiling. Okay, and it's not a fake smile. It's a hearty smile. Especially at weddings. I know weddings are long. People are tired. Yeah. But there's something you say to them that keeps it going. Yeah.
It's like weird because I pursued nursing, one, because it was a security. It was like, I know if I go to school for nursing, I can definitely get a job. Do you think that this was really my purpose? Like, I know you have a spiritual side. I know you go to church and stuff like that. Do you think that I'm in my purpose? Do you think it was a temporary discovery? Do you think it's something I just stumbled upon and was like, oh, look, I can do this? Like, what do you think?
Well, like my pastor said, he said, God's going to test you. He said, God's going to put you in a position, he's going to see whether you can handle it or not. And if you can, he's going to put you in that next position that he really wants you to be in. But he's going to try you first. If you fail, of course, he's going to say, well, he most likely think that you can't handle the next step. But once you handle that first step, the next one should be a little easier after that. But he's going to try you first. Why throw you into a pool of sharks if you don't know how to swim?
Right.
So I think that's what happened with you. And when you took that step, look where you are now.
What do you feel is something that you saw me struggle? And it maybe come off as negative. What is something you saw me struggle with business-wise that then you saw me overcome and you were like, wow, like she made it through?
Well, I can tell you right now, it's the critics. I mean, you know, I'm not going to say if it was printed on paper, but I know there's some things you read digitally on the phone or on the computer, and those things are hard to swallow. Now, again, it's like when you make a movie, you're going to get criticized for that movie, and if it's negative, you're going to find out what you could have done better. So the next one you make, you're going to make a little better than the first one if you get negative criticism. But if you get positive, you're going to move on to the next movie and kind of take the positive stuff from the first movie and incorporate in the next movie. So that's how you are with your pictures. Okay, like if somebody said, well, that came out blurry. Okay, you're going to look into that and you're going to say, well, I'm not going to do that again in my next one. But if somebody says, man, that is a great picture, look at the surround stuff, you're going to incorporate that into your next project, because that's what makes you better. That's what makes you unique. We're coming to an end because I know how YouTube works and we have to go. But is there anything that you would like to share? Is there do you have a question for me that you want to answer, or you know, whatever? It's free range, open range. Well, there's one thing I like to share. As a father, you always hope your children make the right choices or choose the right direction or whatever it's right. But as a father, as a parent, you know, support your children, even as they grow up and they become adults. And if they fall, like my mother taught me, watch them fall and just help them get back up. And they will walk. And what you have done is, yes, you've left nursing, and a lot of people would have probably said, wow, how could you leave such a field which is in such demand, you'll never, but you're not like everybody else. You said, this is my destiny, this is what I want to do, and you're going to make the best of it. Nobody's going to try to help you in a way where that you want it done your way. So what I'm trying to say is, in the long run, that yes, you took a chance, and look where you are now. And had you stayed in nursing, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't talk about this, and there's a lot of things you wouldn't be receiving. But look at you now. Now you're helping others by expressing yourself, expressing your talents, and showing America that, hey, this is what I wanted to do. Now I want to share it with you. And as a dad, you know, you pat yourself on the back because you say, look, not all parents are perfect, but I think I got there. I think I almost got to that perfect percentage.
That's a lot of weight in my shoulder.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, guys, well, that's it. If you have any questions for my dad, that, you know, you can leave a comment, and we'll maybe do another episode, or just, you know, respond back, whatever. But this was an episode that was really important to me, because I only seen my father in action like one time with his job, like really saw what he did. And so for me, I believe that, like, my work ethics, because a lot of people will say to me, oh, you don't sleep, or, you know, you're always working. And that's not true. Like, there's some days when I sleep like 8 to 12 hours. Like, it's just, I don't sleep a regular person's, you know, wake up at 9, go, you know, finish at 5, go to sleep and repeat. Like, my sleep is probably, I'm like a vampire. Like, I'm the opposite of you guys. Like, I probably sleep more during the day. And if you think about it, like, if I'm shooting weddings and events, most of them happen at night. So my clock is just different. But regardless of that, my work ethic is what a lot of people like hone in on, and they talk about like how I market, how I shoot stuff. And I do run my business solo. I don't have a team. So essentially, so a lot of stuff I do is on my own. And sometimes when I see people who either have a team or don't, and, you know, they're like, well, how do you do all that? It's like, you have to have that. The work ethic needs to be there first. And I personally, and it's nothing against my mom. My mom will take mental health days. And, you know, that's her. Like, that, if that keeps her sane, then that's her thing. I think my dad is the opposite. He'll go to work even though he's in his head probably like trying to beat somebody up, you know, because of whatever is going on. So I wanted to do this video interview because I know that my work ethic definitely came from my father, and I just kind of wanted to, you know, show you guys, you know, him, and get, you know, well, you guys can learn a little bit about him. So, like I said, any questions, you know, leave it in the comment section. You guys know how to reach me, and we'll see you next time.
Come at you.
Bye.